Well, it's that time of year again, almost growing season. I've had a nice warm spell in February here in North Carolina, and so I've gotten all the mowers back out and cranked them up and just getting them a little bit ready to go. One of my most viewed videos last year was when I did a comparison of all the Walmart mowers that I get from buying them from my wholesale liquidator in pallets. And for many, I think it's beneficial because a lot of people are going to go to Walmart to purchase just a consumer grade mower. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of a rundown of what has changed in 2018. I have a bunch of 2017 models because I'm a year behind, but I did go to Walmart and see what, if any, has changed for 2018. Nothing much has changed from what you see here. One thing you might notice from my video from last year is that the variety is a lot less. That's partially because that's all I got in my liquidation lot this year. I don't have any rear wheel drive snappers or any big wheel front wheel drive snappers. They do sell them, and they are still roughly the same as last year. They might have updated the engine on them to a 725 series Briggs, which I think I did have in last year's video, which I'll post a link under here. The biggest change for 2018 versus 2017 that I noticed was that except for the Hyper Tough mower, which is right here in the front, and the snappers, all the mid-grade mowers are actually painted black versus painted red, but that's the only thing I noticed. The change between the video I did last year and the video I'm doing right here, a lot of the changes are just Briggs & Stratton just cheapening up the mowers as expected. And I'll start with the first one here, and I'll give you all a little bit of a comparison, so y'all don't have to comparison shop as much whenever you go to the store. You can just kind of look at this video and hopefully get enough pointers from there. But I'll start out with the first one here. It's a 20 inch. That's the only 20 inch of the bunch. All the rest of them are 21 inch. It's a Hyper Tough push mower. Very thin deck. Good if you want a very light and easy to use trim mower. I think they run around $130 to $140. Like I said, very cheap mower overall. One thing I noticed from last year is that the wheels are no longer quick adjust. They have the holes in the back that you have to take the bolts out and switch the holes to adjust to where you want to. This flap right here also is not able to be pulled up. It is a fixed flap, but they are still selling for about the same price. So like I said, Walmart just cheapened them up a little bit per usual and branded it as their Hyper Tough, which I guess is their kind of their entry-level brand for tools and whatever now, mowers, blowers, weed eaters, etc. The second one really hasn't changed that much. It's the Murray with the 450E series. Oddly enough, this is a 300 series on the Hyper Tough, but it still has the same amount of gross torque. However, if you do run them, and I do have a video of all these running that if I remember, we'll post under this as well. Running wise, they haven't really changed that much, and I may make a separate video of these running, but like I said, they haven't changed that much from last year. 450 series, what I have noticed is that the handle, they have changed on them so that you have to actually bolt them down here, and it's a fixed handle versus one of these quick adjust handles where I could just take those two wing nuts off there and just fold the handle down like on this one. So this one's a little bit more difficult to assemble and or to store if you need to store the handle down. So keep that in mind if you go buy this one. I do have one more, and it's got the same engine as this mower right here, which I don't think they sell anymore, which is why I'm not really including them in this video. But if you do, they're very similar to this mower. It's a 500E series Briggs engine, which is the same engine as on this mower right here, and it's the same deck as this one right here, except that it has big wheels in the back and the side discharge chute. That's the only difference between them. if I remember correctly, I did not have any 2017 models of those, so I think that's one that they cut out of the herd for 2017, and it may not be back in 2018. If it is, those are the only differences between the two. Sorry I didn't get it out to view, because I think I only had maybe one or two of those. This is the next step up. This is where you're getting into the bags. The one thing I did notice about these mowers this year, just the standard wheel with the bag, is that they're no longer a 3-in-1, so they do not have a side discharge option. You could not put a discharge chute on them. And just like a little bit of changes in the labeling or whatever, but apart from that, they're basically the same. And I've got these in the kind of the price range that they're in as well. So all of them are 21-inch. These decks seem like they're a little bit more flimsy though, because of the plastic front end on them, which is kind of as to be expected for a consumer grade mower. You're going to find the same at Home Depot or Lowe's if you buy their run-of-the-mill push mowers too. Their Bolens brand or whatever, Troy-Bilt brand. They're kind of all the same. It's just kind of they slap a different name on them and sell them at a different store. These are a little bit better. These are basically the same as this, except they have a 625EX Briggs on them. Did not get many of these this year either, and I don't even know if I should have included them in this video, but you can still buy these in 2017. This is a 2017 model. I don't think they're as readily available as they used to be in years past. One thing I have noticed with these 625 Briggs though is that out of all the mowers that I've gotten, these engines are the ones that are most commonly blown up when I get them. I don't know if it's because of user mistreatment before they get returned, or if it's just because these engines are a little bit weaker. This one, all I had to do was put a pull rope in, I believe. So this one was an easy fix. But I had another one with this deck. I only got 2 of these with this lot. The other one was blown up. I also had one other from last year's lot that was blown up. So keep that in mind. Like I said, that may or may not be a variable, just because I don't know what these have gone through since I got them last. One thing I did notice is that they did change the handle up top here. It still has the discharge chute option. I don't have the chute on them, but it looks exactly like this on the snapper. That should come with the mower. All these mowers should come with owner's manuals as long as you buy them new at Walmart. But they have like I guess an easier to use handle up here that's more accommodating for your hands. That's bent a little bit differently, as you can see. The snapper mower here, like I said, I wish I still had like rear wheel drive snappers and big wheel front wheel drive, but it's just kind of the way that I get the lot, and so I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And honestly, there's not going to be a ton of people that buy those other 2 models either, although they sold really well for me last year, just because of their price point, because you're getting up into you're getting over $250 now for the mowers, and a lot of people, especially folks that are buying at Walmart, will most likely get your cheaper mowers here. But either way, snapper, it's not the snappers that you're going to buy at the snapper dealer or whatever. They're just rebranded MTDs, so don't let that fool you. Don't let the name fool you. Although people do love buying these because of snappers, they're just glorified MTDs. And that's what I tell a lot of people that buy them from me as well. It's like, these are not the ones that you're going to buy at the dealer. They're still halfway decent mowers for what you're probably going to use them for. They do come with a bag. One thing I noticed, the one change of these from years past, is that these snappers used to have this engine on them, the 625EX Briggs, with the Ready Start. These this year have the 550EX Briggs. They still are Ready Start, but keep in mind it's a little bit smaller engine. They're not quite as powerful. However, they'll do just fine, get the job done. I think they're priced around the $260, $270 range, which is probably a good 20-30 bucks cheaper than what you can get them at any other store. So still, from a value standpoint, you're doing pretty good. So I hope this helps, folks. I know this type of video was one of the most watched videos I had last year. If you have any more questions or anything, feel free to comment below. But that's kind of the rundown of everything that you're probably going to find at a Walmart store in 2018, if you don't buy secondhand from somebody like me who buys from liquidators and then fixes them and resells them. So yeah, I hope this video is informative. And like I said, if y'all have any more questions or any comments about these particular mowers to help people purchase them, I kind of want to use it as a forum to maybe kind of help compare mowers, to help people decide, since my previous video got quite a bit of views when I did the comparison here. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them below. Apart from that, thank you all for watching, and happy mower shopping.